What's going on, guys? It's Film Culture with Caleb. I should really change it to Culture with Caleb because TV shows and UFC events is also kind of cool to do. But yeah, UFC 250 happened last night. That was pretty cool. I was right about that, but we're going to pass on that today. We're going to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie while I cook breakfast. I got my eggs, I got my bacon, I got my American cheese. Anyway, so Mandalorian Grogu. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers ahead for this movie because I watched this about 2 weeks ago. I've been trying to catch up with the movies that I've watched and not reviewed, and so let's talk. I finally caught up with my videos on Hail Mary and Mortal Kombat 2. So there is nothing bad about the Mandalorian Grogu movie. There's nothing. My big problem with it is, what is the point of that movie? So I know it was a cash grab, and I'm okay with that because at least they made it relatively clear it was going to be a cash grab. But why did we need that movie? We haven't gotten a Star Wars movie since 2019 with The Rise of Skywalker. Why did Disney release it? And that's the thing, because it's not a bad movie. It's a safe movie. So they played it safe. They did characters you like. They did. They brought in characters that you would know. Made reference. They had the Star Wars experience, but it feels very almost unsatisfying to watch because of how safe the movie is. You wanted more, you were hoping for more. So I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Another thing is my other big problem with the movie is that Star Wars is a very film-oriented movie series, so they used to be that you could watch a movie and you wouldn't need to watch any other material to understand the movie. So, if you would have watched Phantom Menace to watch Clone Wars, you would have understood that, and those were movies, and so you would just go back to back to back. My big problem with Star Wars movies, especially this one, is that you need to really kind of see all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian to understand the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Maybe not 3, definitely the first one though, because you have no idea who this character is. If you haven't seen the TV show, you're kind of lost, and that's my big problem, is that the Star Wars movie should be independent from the TV shows, so you're not required to go get a subscription or go and watch 12 hours of content on Disney Plus before watching the movie. And that's my big problem with the movie, is that unless you haven't seen Mandalorian Season 1, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, all of these things tying in, you're not going to understand this movie as much. And I haven't even seen Ahsoka, because Ahsoka doesn't look interesting to me. I haven't even seen a lot of The Book of Boba Fett. But, I've seen all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, so I kind of understood a lot of that. But I would feel bad for the person who hasn't seen any of that, and they're going into a blind, and they're some things they're just not going to know. Unless they watch, a history video, or someone, explain to them in 15 minutes about all they need to know before watching it. That's also a great option. But that's my big problem with the movie, is that it requires you to spend extra time, spend extra money for a subscription, or just time, content-wise, to watch Mandalorian, at least Season 1, to understand fully about the Mandalorian and Grogu in the movie Grogu and Mandalorian. I would argue you have to watch Season 3 to understand everything, which, again, that's a lot of content to get through, so I can understand if people aren't doing it. I can get that. Past that, I know it was a cash grab. It's just a cash grab, guys. My hopes were not very high. You can't raise the bar with Star Wars anymore. So, as a low bar Star Wars film, it's a great film. It's well portrayed. The visuals look good. The music's great. The acting's fine. All of this is good for a low expectation Star Wars film, because all it is a cash grab. That's all it is. They just needed money. They needed to keep the Star Wars IP alive because some of their TV shows are flopping, and that's it. So I wouldn't get your hopes too much if you go watch this movie. For me, I didn't have my hopes too high, but overall, it's not a bad film. I don't want to like just bully the heck out of this film. It's not a bad film. It's just low expectations, and my results were the same. So I wasn't like overly excited for the film. Let's see. Character wise, they did a good job with Mandalorian and Grogu. Good job with them. I liked their continuation of the story. Obviously, I liked Jabba the Hutt's grandson. I don't remember his name in the movie, so I'm opening my bag of bacon now. So, let's see. I liked the bounty hunter that fought the Mandalorian. He was cool. I don't remember his name either, but that's okay. I'm gonna use a knife. Let's see, what else did I like about that movie? Okay, here's another thing I didn't like. I think the Mandalorian's fights looked clunkier than usual. The Mandalorian has always been clunky when he fights because of his armor. He always looks like he's a block. Like, he doesn't have a lot of movement. He's not flamboyant. There's all like this level of him where, like, in the TV show, like, he just stands in front of blaster fires, just like perfectly fine. Like, he's just gonna take it. In this movie, that's one thing I noticed, is he's a lot more like dodging and weaving and ducking, even though he's wearing Beskar. And the Mandalorian show makes you want to be like he didn't do that a lot. He was just like taking the damage, taking the impact. And that was one thing that threw me off. I was like, I'm wondering if they're trying to like change him because now he's like more of a father. If maybe it's to show like that he's a little bit more nervous or a little bit more like caring, and so he's not like just being as reckless anymore. I think that's the growth that I see in the movie, and I like that idea if that's what they went for. But that was one of my big problems, is the Mandalorian has always looked clunky when he's fighting. Always. He's always been kind of just boring to watch in a fight scene, unless it's a shootout. Because honestly, like, there's not much there to begin with, for me at least. And so I'm not like, I don't want to hate on the Mandalorian show, but that's one thing I really noticed, is that I don't like how clunky he is. The bar fight was kind of like that. Just, like, I'm not saying the fight choreography was bad, but there's just a level of, like, you can tell the difference when you're watching a John Wick film when you're watching Mandalorian, right? You can tell the difference when you're watching a Jason Bourne film over the Mandalorian. Jason Bourne and John Wick are fluid in their movement, and Mandalorian's armor kind of, like, prohibits that, and so it's a little bit, like, blocky to watch. Let me see, what else do I have to say? The ending was fine. The ending was good. I like how they kind of wrapped up the Hutt saga, like, you know. And again, if you haven't, like, seen Book of Boba Fett or whatever, there's, like, some... I actually don't remember a lot of the Jabbas in Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, but it kind of all, you know, comes together at the end. So they did a great job with that. I don't have a lot else to really say. There's not a lot of other good things that came from that movie. So yeah, that's about it for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So what would I rate it, and what would I, like, recommend? And there's a few things that I've been missing. Things I've been, like, supposed to do, and I haven't done it. So I rated that movie a 3 out of 5. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's, like, amazing. So I'm not gonna come out here and pretend that, again, we all know what it came out for. I think this movie is a good watch, especially if you're with friends. I went and watched The Mandalorian with 2 buddies of mine, and so that was worth it. By myself, I probably wouldn't have gone. It's not really a movie that I really cared about, because I knew what it was, like, going to be. But if you have friends, oh, absolutely, make a night of it. Have fun, laugh during the movie theater, talk. It's great. I enjoy it so much. And for parents, I haven't done this segment in a while, because obviously I'm gonna make a whole video on, like, what I think, like, how I watch movies, and, like, how I discern how I can watch movies. But for parents, this movie's fine. It's Star Wars. It's PG-13. There's nothing inherently inappropriate. It's not going to be worse than Clone Wars, which supposedly in the club scene has female nudity, which you don't really see it, but it supposedly is in there, but people just forget about that, and, like, they don't realize that actually, yes, like, technically, by other reviewing sites bigger than mine, like IDBM and a bunch of other people that supposedly there's like a new... Anyway, so it's not that. There's none of that. It's going to be like, you see the Jabba shirtless, you know, you see Mandalorian with his helmet. Like, there's just certain like little itty bitty little things that shouldn't do anything. So perfectly fine for your kids. And plus, like, they're gonna love it. Your kids always love Star Wars. Star Wars is amazing for kids. So, yeah, this is a movie I'd be like, yeah, take your kids to see it. Why not? Because, like, it's gonna be awesome. Anyway, past that, yeah. I have tip money that I'm gonna be grabbing from work soon, and so I'll hopefully be going and watching The Back Rooms and Obsession with a couple friends, because I need to get into horror more. I don't like watching horror, I like reviewing horror, because I can rant about how stupid horror is. I can't wait for Toy Story 5, Sheep Detective, Masters of the Universe. I watched the old Masters of the Universe. I'm going to have a review for that in the next couple days. I'm on fire right now, and I'm going to go see the new Masters of the Universe, because it's Masters of the Universe, and it's He-Man, which, who wouldn't want to go watch He-Man? And I've heard that's been receiving a lot of hate when it shouldn't be, so I'm excited to review that movie. Yeah, so... And my UFC video is up, so if you guys want to see something different, I'm going to be doing, hopefully, more of that and more TV shows and kind of broadening out a little bit, and still publishing shorts, because, you know, it's harder for a small channel like mine to make views when I've done short content for so long, and now I'm doing full-fledged YouTube videos, and so there's, like, a hard stop for me, so I'm trying to, like, fix that by doing both and then telling people that I'm making actual full-fledged YouTube videos. Anyway... So it's just, you know, that's just drama. Well, it's not drama, but that's just the cool stuff about YouTube. So, anyway, that's all I have to say. I've ranted for long enough and taken enough of your time. So, y'all have a good rest of your day. And if you have any movies you want me to review or talk about in the comments, let me know. Appreciate it all. And thank you so much for 202 subscribers. It means a lot to me. I've hit 200. I can't wait to hit 500 and start getting monetized. I would love for that. I would love to hit 500. Make a little bit more extra money as a broke college student. That's what I kind of want to be doing. But, yes, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all. And take care of yourselves.